I'm Emily.
And I'm Mallory.
Welcome to episode 2 of What's Up in Sport Martial Arts.
You may have heard of martial arts or may even been trained in martial arts. This show is about the competition side of martial arts where competitors go head to head.
Here's a fun fact. Only 3 to 5% of people who start martial arts make it all the way to black belt. Martial arts tournaments are one great way to stay motivated to reach the black belt level. The sport martial arts events that we focus on are martial arts tournaments that are open to all styles, belt ranks, and experience levels, and offer forms or kata competition, kata or forms using martial arts training weapons, and speed or point sparring. The events are designed to be a safe way to practice martial arts and test your skills.
In episode 1, we introduced you to the sport of open martial arts competition and told you about one of our favorite events, the AKA Warrior Cup. This tournament happens every January in the city of Chicago, Illinois. For most, this is the start of the competition season and year. We were there the weekend of January 20th and 21st and had a great time.
Although the AKA Warrior Cup tournament is open to all ranks of martial artists, from beginner to black belt, the hallmark of the event is the final competitions for the elite black belt competitors as they compete for an AKA Warrior Cup title and award. There are only 6 Warrior Cups awarded each year, so winning one is quite an accomplishment.
In this episode, we're going to show you the highlights from the 2023 AKA Warrior Cup and introduce you to a new school and update you on how your favorite competitors fared at this event.
Before we get to the competitors, I want to introduce you to another great sport martial arts school. I've known Damian Rodriguez for a long time, and I've been watching him compete since he was a teenager.
Damian is a great competitor from Florida, and also remember him as a youngster tearing up the tournament scene. Did you visit his school?
I sure did, a few years back, and I was impressed. I saw him at the AKA Warrior Cup, and it reminded me of that visit.
So tell me about his school. I've seen some of the students competing in events, and they all seem very well trained.
You're right. He does a great job with his students. His school is called Millennium Martial Arts in Hialeah, Florida. He offers traditional martial arts, after-school programs, kickboxing, and MMA training. He's got some amazing students who do well in sport karate tournaments.
Sounds like it's a great school, and I'm glad to see that he's had so much success. But you know that Damian is also a family man now. He's married with 2 children.
He sure is, and his kids are super cute. And guess what? He has a secret life outside of karate. He loves fishing, and he's teaching his son to love it as well.
So, the AKA Warrior Cup last weekend was packed with talent.
That's right, Mal. The divisions were huge. In fact, for instance, the men's Korean division had more competitors than ever seen since 2008. This is a great sign for open sport karate competition.
And those huge divisions make great competition. That was a lot of fun to watch.
In our last episode, we told you to keep an eye on 4 great competitors. Let's take a quick look at how they did at the AKA Warrior Cup.
Sure. We talked about Tyson Wray, a young fighter from New York. Although he did not win a Warrior Cup, he had a spectacular showing at the event. On Friday night, he took a respectable 8th place in the men's openweight division, which boasted 50 competitors.
But on Saturday, he really shined with a first-place win in the lightweight men's sparring division and then taking the lightweight runoff grands, defeating Oscar Garcia of Mexico. He was stopped by another one of our spotlight competitors from last week, Bailey Murphy, as Murphy won the lightweight overall grand championship for men at the event.
Speaking of Bailey Murphy, we interviewed him last episode, and we really wanted to see how he would do at the AKA Warrior Cup.
He made it clear that he was looking to win the men's sparring Warrior Cup, but unfortunately, it was not to be.
He fought a great fight and took a 2nd place in men's openweight fighting to Richard Plowden on Friday night.
And then on Saturday, he won his welterweight division, the welterweight grands, and then the overall lightweight grands, defeating Tyson Wray.
He got all the way to the final round for the Warrior Cup, where he faced Richard Plowden once again in an edge-of-the-seat fight. Plowden got the final point and took his 4th Warrior Cup home, leaving Bailey empty-handed.
We also tuned you into Maeve McColgan of Canada. 2023 is Maeve's first year as an adult, and she did great. She earned a 3rd place in the women's light middleweight division after being defeated by the winner of the division, Tahir Abdul Qadir. I had a chance to get a quick word in with Maeve at the event. Tell us, this is your first. Tell us about what the significance of this tournament and what you're thinking.
All right, so this is probably the biggest tournament I've ever been to. It's my first official adult year, so I'm just super excited to keep on competing, keep on doing my best. The experience I'm getting from all these fights, all these different divisions is insane, and I'm just thankful. I'm really thankful. Yeah, I'm excited.
Another competitor we gave you a heads up about was Wassim Dridi of Canada.
And Wassim did awesome in his first event in the 14-15 boys division, which, by the way, were all stacked with so many competitors.
He's known for his traditional performances, but at the Warrior Cup, he won 1st place in musical forms and weapons and extreme forms, taking a 2nd and 3rd in traditional weapons and forms.
He's definitely going to be on the watch list for the rest of 2023 with those kinds of results.
Our final competitor to watch was Isabella Nicoli, another youngster who has moved up to the 14 and 15-year-old girls division, which also was incredibly huge.
I heard that she sustained a bit of an injury, but she still did very well.
She did, with 3 second-place finishes, 3 third-place finishes, and a 4th and 5th place.
Knowing Bella, she's going to go back to the lab and train for the next one and come out swinging.
Speaking of the next one, remember the next event we will be working with is the Compete Internationals in Ontario, California, just outside of Los Angeles.
I love this event, and not just because the weather is so much better than I get in Minnesota. The California competition is great, and you get to see a lot of martial arts superstars and competitors who have moved into stunts and movies at the event.
The event is family friendly and really caters to the competitors with lots of division and even savings bonds for some of the World Kids Championship divisions. Definitely one you should attend.
And the finals live stream will be commentated by you, Mal. People should definitely tune in to our YouTube page for live streams from some of the rings and the finals broadcast on Saturday.
The Compete Internationals is happening February 24th through the 26th in Ontario, California. Make sure you go to madaction.com to register now.
Here's what you have all been waiting for. The AKA Warrior Cup champions. Drum roll, please.
Let's start off with the youth. I love this kid. Probably one of the nicest and most respectful young men that you'll ever meet. It was Shane Billow in the Junior Weapons Warrior Cup. His first Warrior Cup after years of hard work and many tournaments.
He was one happy kid with a super happy mom. Congratulations, Shane. What a great way to start the 2023 tournament season.
In Junior Forms Warrior Cup, it was another nail biter.
4 awesome kids lined up for this one, and it came down to the wire. What was cool is that 3 of the 4 kids that we saw had also competed in our SMA virtual tour events over the past few years. Philip Brumet, Angel Perez, and Amanda Duarte.
In the end, it was Avery Presley winning by 1/100th of a point over Angel Perez to take the Warrior Cup.
For the Adult Weapons Warrior Cup, after the dust settled, it was Avery's older brother Jake Presley with the win.
This was Jake's 6th Warrior Cup over the years.
That is impressive. And I know some of those cups have been won as a junior competitor and some as an adult for Jake.
The Men's Sparring Warrior Cup came down to the wire in a match between Bailey Murphy and Richard Plowden.
Plowden is from Michigan and is part of the Plowden family legacy. His dad has won 2 Warrior Cups and his sister has won 5.
Richard, also known as Avery, changed up his fighting style a bit because Bailey had defeated them the last time they met up in 2022.
Well, he certainly made the right adjustments because he took his 4th Warrior Cup home to make his family total 11.
Women's sparring was also pretty historic. Morgan Plowden, arguably one of the best female fighters in the world, made it to the stage after winning both Executive Women's Grand Championship and Overall Women's Grand Championship.
She faced a young upstart who had won the women's openweight division, Katarina Herman of Canada. Katarina just turned 18, and this is her first year fighting as an adult. In the end, it was Katarina with the 1-point victory in her very first Warrior Cup.
I had a chance to speak to Katarina to learn a little bit more about her. Hey, you beat Morgan Plowden for the Warrior Cup. First of all, what was going through your head? And I think you fought her twice this past
over the whole weekend. I fought her 3 times. So
okay, 3 times.
That was our 3rd. Yeah. What was going through my head? Honestly, I had to stop myself a little bit from fangirling a little bit just because it's my first competition in the adult division, and I've honestly looked up to Morgan and her family for my entire martial arts career. I started in WKC, so I'd been to a few of their seminars, just seen them at all these kinds of competitions, made sure to say hello, because the whole family, iconic fighters, iconic martial artists in the industry. So first things first, when I fought her first in teams, then in my weight division, and then again on stage. First time fighting her in teams, I was just so excited. It was for finals in teams. So, and I went into it and I was down by 6. So I figured I'm just going to go in there, have some fun, feel it out, see what happens, try not to get stuck with everything in the book, and go from there. And so very, very excited for the whole experience.
Seeing the size comparison between you and Morgan, when I got the rest, I said, man, she's all legs. Oh, wow. I'm like, how is this going to play out? Most people that, if they're generally tall, they usually are pretty good kickers. And you also proved that as well by controlling the distance.
Thank you. It's 182 centimeters.
182 centimeters for those of you scoring at home.
Yes, 182. But yeah, honestly, that was a main challenge for me, especially at AKA, was just understanding that I at this point need to fight according to what my body is like and how I'm proportioned and how that'll work for my fighting. So definitely fighting like a tall person was a big, big influence in my mind and just in my fighting this weekend, to really use that to my advantage.
Let's talk about where you're from, where you study karate. So these are going to be 3 rapid fire questions. Where are you from? Where's home? Why you started karate? So I'll let you go ahead and get this.
Where are you from? I am from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Okay. I've lived here my whole life. Home girl, the hammer. I've trained. Oh, wait, sorry. First question, where I'm from, Hamilton, Ontario. Second question, you said who?
Where you train?
Where I train. I train with Trevor Nash and Casey Nash at United Family Martial Arts on the East location. I think there's around 5 locations in the province. And I started training with Jim Flood when I was around 7 or 8 years old, and trained with him, spent a year training with Blake Patterson, and then around 2019, 2020, moved to Mr. Nash's school right at the beginning of COVID, and ever since then, been going full on with the Nashes.
So what made you start martial arts? What was it that interested you?
So I started I was a dancer before I started any martial arts.
Just to interrupt, what are we talking, ballet, or are we talking
so just like ballet and jazz. I was between the ages of like 5 and 7, just for a few years, just to get out there, get moving. My friends were doing it, so I figured to do it. Was in dance, and then when I was almost turning 8, my dad brought up to me that Jim Flood is opening a new martial arts school, this kind of super center multiplex for all athletics, just up the street from us. And my dad had known Mr. Flood from when they were younger, so he said, "Hey, do you want to give it a try?" I had been doing dance for a while. It hadn't fully clicked. It didn't really feel like, my passion, what I wanted to do. I was just a little kid having fun. So I figured, why not? My brother and I have an older brother. He's 2 years older than me. We both moved up with Mr. Flood. And honestly, it clicked ever since. He gave me my white belt and ended up giving me my black belt.
So we've learned a lot. We've learned that you're on Team Diamond. You are a student of Chelsea Nash and Trevor Nash. You've been coached by Mike Conroy. And don't warm up your baby mice.
Most importantly.
We're always learning something great. So, Katarina, I certainly appreciate your time. Thank you so very much. We'll be back soon with another 10 Minutes With. It's going to be hard to top this one. But thank you so much, and congratulations on your Warrior Cup win.
Thank you so much. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it was awesome being here. So thank you.
As a follow-up to this, I just learned that as a result of her success at AKA Warrior Cup, Katarina was invited to join Team Paul Mitchell Karate, and she accepted.
Amazing. She's trained by Canada's Trevor and Casey Nash. This pickup by Team Paul Mitchell means that the Nashes have produced more competitors that have gotten on the team than any other school out there.
The final division of the night at the AKA Warrior Cup was the Adult Forms Warrior Cup.
This was another huge win for a new adult, as Esteban Tremblay of Canada took home the win with a well-executed extreme routine.
Esteban just turned 18 in November of 2022 and now has a Warrior Cup under his belt.
He was really emotional about this win. Apparently, he drove to the event in Chicago from Quebec, Canada, and decided that he was not going to go home without his trophy.
The Warrior Cups are 5 feet tall and weigh nearly 75 pounds. Normally, the promoter ships the Warrior Cups to the winners.
Not for Esteban. He basically had someone squeeze into another car so he can get that gargantuan trophy in his vehicle and cuddle up to the metal and wood all the way home.
It was well-deserved, and I guess I wouldn't want to let that out of my sight if I won one either.
The Warrior Cup was a whole lot of fun. Make sure to get registered for the next 2 coverage events, the Compete Internationals the weekend of February 24th through 26th in Ontario, California,
and the Cowboy Up Martial Arts Championships in New Braunfels, Texas, the weekend of March 10th and 11th, 2023.
You can find more information about these events and upcoming SMA virtual tour events at madaction.com.
Signing off, this is Emily.
And this is Mal.
And now you know what's up.
What's up?